This is our pumpkin all chopped, and I did give it a little rough chop. Try to chop it as evenly as possible. And this is what our pumpkin looks like. Now we're moving on to the provisions. Here are our ground provisions as well as the carrots. So I did cut them up kind of small, not too big, but big enough that it does not melt, and small enough so it's not too chunky in the soup. So I'm going to set it aside until I'm ready for it, and then let's move on. So this is what our smoked pigtails look like. I did wash it out really well, and next what we are going to do is to brush it for roughly 12 minutes. These are some of the seasonings we will be adding to our pumpkin soup. So here I have some celery, a hot pepper, some pimento peppers. I have here some chives as well as some chardonnay, garlic, and onion. So I will go ahead and cut that and set it aside. Here are our chopped seasonings, as you can see, and I will set that aside until I'm ready to use it. Hi guys, this is what our smoked pigtail are looking like. It's good. As you can see, the spoon is going through it very easily. So what I'm going to do is to remove it from this pot, because we are going to use the same pot to make the soup. So let me do that and come back and show you the next step. Here is our clean pot, and what I'm going to do is to just add a little bit of oil. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some oil, not too much, just a little bit. And I'm going to add in some of the chopped onions. Mix that around just like that. Next, add in your pumpkin. Once you add the pumpkin, just mix it up really well, just like that. So we're going to leave it, and once it's done, I'll come back to show you the next step. So while our pumpkin is cooking, I'm just going to go ahead and add some seasoning to this, and a bit of white salt. Then I'm just going to mix it up just like that. So while it's resting, it'll get some of that nice seasoning flavor in there. And we'll just leave this here until we're ready for it. So this is what, oh, it's actually burning, guys. So let me go ahead and add in some water. Okay, so it's cooking, as you can see, and we want it to be crushed. So we're going to keep our eyes on it as it continues to cook. This is what our pumpkin looks like so far, and it's getting softer and softer and softer. So it does still have a bit of a crunch when I'm testing it like that. We're going to allow it to cook some more. Hey fam, excuse me. So this is what our pumpkin is looking like so far cooks. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and add in some of the ingredients. We're going to add in some coconut milk, and next we're going to go in with the seasonings. Give that a really good mix like this, just like so. So we're going to allow this to boil for a few minutes. I like to do that so that the flavor could be infused more into the pumpkin. And then once we do that, we will add the other ingredients. This is what the soup is looking like. It has started to boil, so I'm just going to go ahead and add in the provisions. Now that the pot is boiling, we're going to go ahead. Dumplings that I did make. I will show you several times on this channel how I make dumplings. This time I infused some oats in the dumpling because I did not realize that I actually ran out of cornmeal. So yeah. Hey guys, so I'm so sorry the camera got cut off and everything, but what I did is that I did add in my Scotch bonnet. It's somewhere about in the soup. Also, I did add in a little bit of sugar to help with the rackishness of the pumpkin. It's not all that sweet, so you want to make sure to add a little bit of sugar to help with the flavor and everything like that. And oh yes, there's the Scotch bonnet. Yeah, that's it right there. Yeah, so this is what our pumpkin soup looks like. So I'm just going to place it out and then I'll come back to show you. Hey family, so this is the end of our pumpkin soup video. I really hope you'd have enjoyed it, and of course be sure to mention below or comment below and let us know how you make yours in your country. Until the next time, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye. Here we have the cow heel all cleaned. I did wash it a few times. Of course, when you buy it from the shop, it's clean. They do clean it really well. And I also have here some split peas that I will be adding to the soup to give it body. Now, any kind of peas can be used for that. I went ahead and add in the peas and the cow heel to the pressure pot, and I did add in my water. I will bring it to a boil. So here it's all boiling. I'm just going to put on the pressure cover and allow the pressure for 15 minutes. Now in the meantime, I did went ahead and peel and cut up the provisions, which is carrots, some dasheen. I also have some edibles and some sweet potatoes. Also, I will be adding in some corn dumpling. And here I have some green seasoning. You know, green seasoning is a must when we cook here at Spice Island Cooking. And I have my onion and garlic and some pimento peppers. Now let's check to see how far along the peas and the cow heel are. So it did pressure for a few minutes and you can see it has melted really well. The 15 minutes was actually perfect for that. So next, what we are going to do is to add in our seasonings. Also, I will be adding in some additional seasoning to it. So I'm going with my salt, my all-purpose seasoning, cayenne pepper. I also will be adding in other peppers as well as I go along. I have here some dried basil, and I'm just going to mix that in really well. That's basically to help the meat to get some seasoning. And what I will do as well is to add in the water. And once I would have added sufficient water, we are going to allow it to boil for a few minutes. And that basically again helps with the seasoning, or the cow heel to get some of that nice seasoning. So once it has boiled for a bit, as you see here, we are next going to add in the provisions. You can always comment below, let me know how you make your cow heel soup. What do you do differently? What do you add? What do you take out? We love to hear what you do when you make that soup. Yeah. So once I add that in, I am just going to add in some more water, and I'm just going to allow it to boil some more. But before I do that, I'm just mixing it around to make sure everything is well incorporated in the pot. And then once it's boiling, I will come back to show you the next step. I'm just going to go ahead and add in the dumplings and make little balls with it. Any shape or size of preference can be added. You can make that and add it to the soup. So once I add that in, I'm next going to go ahead and add in the pepper, Scotch bonnet, and we're going to allow that to cook. So what you want to do during that process, make sure that you check it constantly to add water. Oh, also I did add in a pinch of sugar to help with the flavor profile. So after it was finished cooking, I plated it, and this is what it looks like. You can see bits and pieces of everything. So this is our cow heel soup, and I did, as I said, add in some split peas. Let me know if you would have enjoyed this video, and don't forget to comment. Let us know what you think. We always do look forward to your comments. I will see you in our next video. Bye bye. We're going to start off first by prepping the pigtail. I went ahead and removed it from the wrapper or the packaging, and next I'm just going to wash it a few times. So once I've washed it a few times, I'm next going to soak it in some vinegar water. I went ahead and wash it out some more times, and then once I've done that, I am next going to place it into a pot. Taste for you. So I went ahead and add the smoked pigtails to the pot and add in some water. I'm going to bring that to a boil, and while that is happening, I'm going to move on to the next step. Here I have some callaloo leaves, and so I'm going to just go ahead and remove the stems, and I'm just going to speed through the process. Once I've removed the stems, I'm next going to go ahead and wash out the leaves. Once I've done that, I'm just going to go ahead and cut them into smaller pieces, and that basically helps with the cooking process. Here it is all done, and I am now going to soak it in some vinegar water, and that basically helps get rid of any dirt or anything that may have sit in between the leaves while I was washing it. So I will set that aside and move on to the next step. For provisions, we are using some dasheen, sweet potatoes, and green fig. Now these are what I had on hand. Things like yams, cassava can be used as well, blubber as well. So I will speed through this process because you would have seen me done that several times over. So once I've done that, I'm just going to set that aside and move on to checking the pot. So it did come to a boil, and I'm just basically checking it. Actually, I had it boiling for a bit, and I'm just going to check it, and it's still very hard. So I will put on my pressure stuff to pressure it for roughly 7 minutes, and then while that is happening, I went ahead and cut the provisions into smaller pieces. So I will set that aside until I am ready for using or to use it. And next I move back to the callaloo leaves. I had them soaking for a while, so now I'm just going to wash it out and set it aside. We are moving on to seasonings. I'm using mostly natural seasonings today. Here I have some celery, some chives, I have some basil, I have some chardonnay, I have some thyme, garlic, onion, and some frozen pimento peppers. So these are some of the seasonings I will be using today, and I will go ahead and cut them and come back and show you. So here they are. We will leave it and check the meat again. So after 7 minutes, this is what the pigtail looks like. It's just basically to loosen it up, not to make it too soft. So I am using the same pot. I just removed it from the pot and cleaned it some, add in my oil, and next I'm just going to go in with the seasonings, with the exception of the thyme. I will leave it for later. Once I add in the seasonings, I'm just going to go ahead and mix it until everything is well combined, and once I did that, I will allow it to saute for a couple minutes. So I just simply went ahead and just allow the meat and the seasoning, to fry for a couple minutes, and then I went in and add in the callaloo as you see here. And yeah, so remember that you have to do that first before adding in your meat. Don't make the mistake that I made. So once I've added the callaloo, I'm just going to mix it in really well and then allow it to steam for a few minutes. Then of course I did add in some water. So here you'd have seen me add in some water, and I'm just going to allow it to simmer for a few more minutes. This is what it looks like so far. And yeah, so next I'm just going to go ahead and add in my coconut, and I'm using coconut milk powder today. I do have coconut, but it's frozen, so I'm using the powder today. I use roughly 3/4 of the pack, and I'm just going to mix it in until it's combined. And I must point out here that fresh seasonings really make your dishes taste delicious. Fresh is best, but we know
Sometimes we don't always get, the fresh seasonings, you use the dried ones. So here I add in some water and I'm just going to bring that to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, I'm next going to add in all of the aforementioned provisions. Once I would have add that in, I did add in some water, and then I am just going to allow it to come to a boil. But before then, I'm just going to give it a quick mix, as you see here. And I'm also adding in some carrots. Some people choose to add in pumpkins as well, but I'm adding in some carrots today. And I'm just going to mix that in and allow it to come to a boil. So once it's boiling, I went ahead and make the dough, and I'm not going to add in my dumplings. I make corn dumpling. I did not record that part because you would have seen me make corn dumplings several times, so I just went ahead and did it. So once I've added in that, I'm next going to place in my fresh thyme and some additional seasonings. I have here all-purpose seasoning and some dry parsley flakes. Of course, I did add in a little bit of the cayenne pepper. I forgot to show that part. And here I'm gently mixing it around because I just added in the dumplings. So while cooking your soup, you want to ensure you check for enough water. You want to check for flavor. Also, don't forget to add a pinch of sugar. It basically helps with the flavor profile of your soup. So now that I would have checked it is actually finished, I will turn it off and oops, sorry guys. So I will remove it from the heat and then plate and come back to show you the final product. So here it is. This is what our soup looks like, a bit of everything. I also forgot to mention that I did add in a Scotch bonnet, and any kind of meat can be used in this soup, like chicken wings, chicken back, and all the good stuff. So I really do hope you would have enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to comment below, let us know what you think, and if you do make callaloo soup, what do you do differently? We are always looking forward to your comments. Until the next time, see you in our next video. Bye.